Now, moving on from Tiana Taylor, shifting gears a little bit. Uncle or big, I don't want to call Don Lemon uncle, big cousin, Don Lemon, okay? Don Lemon recently expressed his frustration with Stephen A. Smith. So Stephen A. Smith has been ticking off a lot of people, all right? I'm going to share my opinions and my thoughts. There's another video of Stephen A. Smith being interviewed about people, Black women in particular, him giving commentary on Black women. But let's first listen to what cousin Don Lemon had to say. Like to hear it? Here it go.
Disappointment. I try not to criticize, especially Black men or just Black people in general. But Stephen A. Smith goes off and he talks about shit that he has no idea about. He has talked shit about me, but no facts. He has no facts. He just gets on these like white boy, right-wing podcasts or on his own show and just goes off about Black people and things that for which he has no clue.
Yeah.
And he thinks because he's doing it like this, that people are going to listen to him. What's wrong with you? I'm like, what am I watching? It's just shocking to me, this sort of cozying up to white people. And it's got to be for the money. If I became a Black conservative, I would be rich, like a gazillionaire. Or if I just went on and started like bashing Black people just to bash them. And it seems that's become his stock and trade, to make excuses for white people and to cozy up to people like Megyn Kelly. He's one of those Black people who white people think Black people like, but we don't. And Stephen A. Smith does not represent us. Black people don't want to hear from him, networks. We don't like him. Stephen A. Smith has just been a disappointment. I try not to criticize, especially Black men or just Black people in general. But Stephen A. Smith goes off and he talks about shit that he has no idea about.
All right. So there is how Don Lemon feels. And I'm pretty sure there are a lot of people that share Don Lemon's sentiment. Okay. Let me get into this next video and I will give my thoughts. Let's see, switching gears. All right. So this is ABC News. Okay. Stephen A. Smith addresses criticism that he's an Uncle Tom. Wrong reference. Wrong reference. Read about Uncle Tom, for Christ's sake. Anyway, and targets Black women. They should be ashamed of themselves. Where's your evidence? All right, so let's listen to what Stephen A. Smith had to say in this interview. Like to hear it? Here it go.
Talk about how when you were first starting with, quite frankly, you were concerned that the Black community might see you as a sellout, as an Uncle Tom. And as you know, some of those criticisms have come about lately. And I want to just play a quick clip to get your reaction.
Sure. To use your platform in order to not only come for me, but consistently kind of have a track record of coming for Black women, I was just very disappointed in him.
They're paying you not for your numbers, my friend. They're paying you because you are willing to say the nasty things about Black people that they want to say.
Your reaction?
They should be ashamed of themselves. Where's your evidence?
Well, Crockett, you have apologized.
Well, let me tell you what I apologized for. Trump followed up what I said by calling her low IQ and stuff like that, which I found appalling. She's a highly educated woman. She's licensed to practice law in the state of Texas, Arkansas, and federally. She's a United States representative. She's an influential, intelligent, decent, good Black woman who cares a lot about Black people in this country. So I apologized for assisting in any way this notion that it's okay to say that about her, because I didn't want any parts of that. But I did feel that the situation was overblown. I was simply saying, is cursing the president out and calling him a piece of on national television or in front of a national audience going to help your constituency? I wanted to know the answer to that question.
You know, it's not just Joy Reid and...
Well, let me say something about Joy Reid. Let's get this out of the way. I don't know this woman. I've met her one time. I shook her hand once. I've never spoken to her in my life. And she's responding that way because when she got fired by MSNBC, her show got canceled. I spoke on it. And what I said was, she is a talent, highly intelligent woman. I respect her. The issue, however, is that if your numbers drop 47% and you are black in this culture that we're living in, did you really expect something else to happen? Of course they were going to do that to you. I'm looking at it and I'm saying, okay, I get what you're saying and you might be right. But the manner in which you're going about it, that ain't going to serve you well long term.
But why is it that many black women have had this criticism on Stephen A. Smith?
Who are the many? Because I think that a few.
In your book, you talk about how when you were first starting with, quite frankly, you were concerned that the black community might see you as a sellout, as an Uncle Tom. And as you know, some of those criticisms have come about lately. And I want to just play a quick clip to get your reaction.
Sure.
To use your platform in order to not.
Okay. Here's my question. Why is Stephen A. Smith placed on such a pedestal? Why do we care so much about what Stephen A. Smith thinks as it pertains to the black community? Stephen A. Smith has never been, to my knowledge, or never presented himself as any sort of an advocate for black people. He was a sports commentator. Was he not? Correct me if I'm wrong. The problem is, I have to do a separate video on this. I think that black people as a whole, especially in this country, and I'm not saying that it's right, wrong, or indifferent. I'm not saying it's good, bad, or otherwise, right? I think that black people are hungry for a leader that's going to come and speak and fight for us in this country. And this is exactly why some of these black men and women with platforms are pedestalized, because it just appears that we're looking for the next, for lack of a better word, I'm sorry to say it, but idol. Stephen A. Smith is not someone that anyone in this country should expect to fight for black people. Yes, he has his opinions. He's entitled to them. But I don't know, what is it about Stephen A. Smith that offends people so much? I'm not saying that you're wrong for being offended, but again, Stephen A. Smith was a sports commentator, for Christ's sake. And that's not taken away from his job or from, his type of commentary. He obviously is good at what he does. He's tenured, right? But why are we looking to a Stephen A. Smith and holding him up to this standard like we do a Jasmine Crockett? Why are we holding him up to this standard? Like I said, I don't know his history. He definitely could have been a civil rights activist back in the day. I don't know that. But the way he comes across and the way that he carries himself, that I've witnessed for the past few years, is he's all for self. He makes that very clear. We see that. This is what he presents. Stop trying to make these people be what you want them to be, and then ready to criticize and shoot them down and stomp on them and get angry and hurl insults at them when they don't live up to the standard that you set for them. And I mean that respectfully. I'm not looking to a Stephen A. Smith to be an advocate for black women or black people. Yes, some of his commentary can be jarring, and people definitely, like I said, people have the right to criticize him. However, let's be realistic here. So I don't know. I just think that the expectations need to be dialed back a lot when it comes to certain people. Not everybody with a platform is an advocate. Not everybody with a platform is an ally for black people. Not every all skin folk ain't kinfolk. It's unfortunate, but stop expecting things from people when they don't show you that they're capable of giving you that. Stephen A. Smith don't care about nothing but his pockets. I'm pretty sure he cares about more things, but he's playing the game. And you know what? Let him. Let's move on. Stephen A. Smith has shown us what to expect of him. He's shown us. So let that be. I don't know, man. We need to really be careful and be intentional about where we put our focus.